rise and shine. I'm Shelby Barrett, the Stoned for the Stoned Roadie Show, and it's time to wake and bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
The Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 215, Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz, episode 93, action. Well, good morning, fellow Earthlings. Looky here, looky here. Here it is, Monday, August 26th, 2024, and it's another Wake and Bake. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stoned Roadie, also known on FakeBook as the world's most famous roadie ever since the dawn of time, since the dinosaurs roamed this flat earth. And with me today again, my co-host, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. So we're going to have a really good show today there, Griff, or are we going to, I don't know, what are we going to do?
The last one wasn't too bad. We had quite a few comments, like more than normal. Of course, Kimmy helped out a lot, and we appreciate Kimmy's input. She's always got like at least a third of the comments.
Crazy Kimmy?
Crazy Kimmy, yeah. She's she's a pretty cool gal. But yeah, we got a lot of great comments, and anybody who's just started watching the Stoned Roadie Show, or if it's your first time, Craig Reed is the original Stoned Roadie from the early days of Lynyrd Skynyrd, and he was with the band, and he toured the world with them, and he was in the plane when it crashed. And Craig and I, we just kind of come on here, and we try to entertain people, and then if they think about it, they'll send a donation to the plane crash survivors. So, but we get a lot of cool comments. People send in, and we talk about anything from fat people to politics to Lynyrd Skynyrd. So that's what we're going to attempt to do anyway. Is that Wicker or Leon?
That's Leon.
I should know by now. Leon's kind of like the mischievous one. You named him well, Craig.
It's hard to tell which one is which unless they're side by side. Leon's a lot smaller than Wicker.
I got a text from Jesus for Survivors, and he said, "What do you think about those astronauts stranded up on the space station?" And I said, "Well, I kind of quit following that shit when I retired, but I guess they're going to be up there till next year. I don't know what happened, but they'll be in that swimming pool or wherever it is until next year." A lot of people think that the space station's really in a swimming pool, but I happen to know they launched pieces of the space station because I saw them load it in the rocket, and I saw them launch it off the launch pad. So there's something up there. I don't know, if that was a hoax, it's an expensive one, and a lot of people were involved in it. So, but yeah, I don't know there, Jesus for Survivors, when that's gonna get fixed. So
I posted a thing today I saw where a couple of cosmonauts from Russia said that the Earth was flat. Nobody's ever been to the moon. The United States will lie about stuff like that, but the Russians, they don't want to be caught in a lie like going to the moon when you can't do it. So
a couple cosmonauts said that.
A couple of cosmonauts said, "Yeah, Earth is flat. You can't get past that firmament." that you Americans can lie about it, but
Really?
yeah, that's what they said.
Wonder why they haven't exposed that lie before. I wonder what they're
Oh,
waiting
I
on.
don't know.
Um, then we got a guest that we're going to try to get on here. Of course, I don't want to make any promises because sometimes we have trouble getting people on. We really never. The only time we really had a bad time getting somebody on was we had Lee on here, Leon Wilkinson's son, and it was just such a bad reception, and then we never got him back. So once we get somebody on here, sometimes it's hard to get them back. I don't know why that is. But there's a comedian that Automotive hooked us up with named Mike Bova. And I don't know if he's helping us out or we're helping him out, but we're going to have him on. I've listened to some of his stand up, and he's sound like a pretty cool guy. And we'll get him on here Wednesday morning and see what he's up to. Can't hurt having a comedian on, right, Craig?
No, no.
And then you talked to Freddie Salem, huh?
I didn't actually talk to him. I'm friends with Freddie from the Outlaws, and he was with the Gods too. But Freddie, he's pretty cool. He was from the Akron area here, right where from Joe Walsh and him were up right up in that area. But anyways, yeah, he was from the Outlaws. Last I seen him, it was down at Marshall Tucker, I think, down at Tangiers. I saw him down there, and I see some posts he puts up on Facebook, and saw he came out with some vodka, Freddie Salem vodka. So I asked him when that was going to be available in Ohio, and he said pretty soon. That was last week, and so I've been thinking about it, and I said, "Hey, Freddie, I don't like to ask celebrities to come on the Stone Roadie show, but you got that vodka, and maybe you'd like to promote that vodka a little bit, on the Stone Roadie show, and maybe this would be my opportunity to invite you to come on, and see if you'd like to appear sometime." And he wrote me back, "Yeah, man, I'd love to." He said, "I'm in UK right now." He said, "But when I get back into the States, I'll give you a call." So, yeah, hopefully we can get Freddie Salem on and talk about what he's been up to and his new venture in the vodka business.
Yeah, he's got some kind of a new project that he's working on, and he stays busy. And I've seen him on several podcasts. So, they're not much bigger than we are, some of them, but they're music podcasts and things like that. And he's got some really great stories that I've already listened to him tell. So he'd be awesome to have on here. So yeah, let's hope we can get Freddie Salem, and then and then we got some people that we like to get back on here too, like Sally Arnold. Like get her back on if we can, and then Craig's ex-wife, get her back on, and then
yeah, Chad's mother, that ex-wife, Chad's mother. Yeah, I got 5 ex-wives. It was Chad's mother there.
Yeah, the one that we already had on once. And we had like some bad audio issues, so it wasn't a very good reception. So it kind of suffered a little bit because of that. But we'll see what we can do with it. But we got a lot of great comments and questions here, Craig. Well, let's just jump into them and see if we can get some jibber jabber going, and then that'll be your Monday morning commute. So I was reading this one, cracked me up. I don't know why, it just struck me funny. This Susan McMaster says, "What a great quote. I didn't pee on anyone. I just peed on the rug." When I read that, I just burst out laughing because, well, what that is we were talking about why Lynyrd Skynyrd fired Craig, and I was naming all the things. I said, well, Craig, that you pissed them off because you told them they owed you money for your movies, and then you sold Gary Rossington's funeral brochure, and that pissed them off. And I said, but I think the original thing that did it was when you were walking down the aisle of the tour bus peeing on everybody. And you said, I didn't pee on anybody. I just peed on the rug.
I might have hit some of the curtains. I don't know.
But how do you know? Because you don't remember. You say you didn't remember.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. That was a long time ago. Water under the bridge.
Maybe you did pee on somebody. You never know.
Oh, I don't think I peed on anybody. I didn't.
But yeah, that was good, Susan. There, we appreciate that. That was.
I saw today that they were talking about Stonehenge and how they think it was used to collect energy from the earth and transmit it originally. And I commented on there, yeah, I peed on Stonehenge one time too.
You did?
I peed on Stonehenge before they put up all the, in 74, 75, before they put up all the fences and stuff. Yeah, it was just out there in the field. You could just walk up to it, So I figured it was appropriate if I just peed on it, So then I peed out on the Alamo. I peed on the Alamo too. I guess Ozzy went to jail for peeing on the Alamo. But then I saw one of his shows where he didn't actually get arrested for peeing on the Alamo. I guess he was dressed up like a woman drunk and they arrested him.
I was watching that Tommy Lee on a podcast and he was talking about Ozzy, and that guy was messed up. I had no idea he was so messed up. He said they were all trying to do something outrageous, and they were out by this pool, and some guy was going to pee on the pool deck and lick it up. But he said Ozzy ran over there and licked it before the guy could lick it.
Oh, God.
And then Tommy Lee took him back to his room, and he took a crap and got his hands in it and wiped it all on the walls. That came from Tommy Lee. I heard it with my own ears on that. What's that guy's podcast that you said you were in contact with?
Theo Vaughn? Is that the one?
Theo Vaughn. That's if you want to watch that, Tommy Lee and Theo Vaughn, you got to see that, man. That's like one of the best interviews. I mean, those two guys, that Tommy Lee was talking about stuff I could never imagine somebody was talking about on a podcast. I mean, it was just crazy stuff. I mean,
well, that Theo Vaughn, he was a pretty big drug abuser too. But he's that kid that was on Jerry Springer or something when he was about 13 years old. He was that preacher that what do they call him?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was that.
He was pretty sharp. I remember that kid. Yeah, I didn't know that was him.
He was that. He was about 13. He was that. What do you call them preachers? Oh God, I don't know. There's a word for him, but yeah, he was that guy.
Wow, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, and he's got his own comedy.
Yeah, he's been doing podcasts
does.
for years. Yeah,
he's had Trump on. He's had bunch of
Bernie
Kid
Sanders.
Rock.
He's had all kind of people on.
Yeah, he's had Kid Rock.
Kid Rock. Yeah,
I think he even had Mike Rowe on. My buddy, good old Mike.
Yeah,
Rowe.
he did. Yeah, he's had everybody on. Yeah, he's pretty big. Yeah, I wrote to him and he's playing here in Akron. I don't really want to go, get.
Well, you probably get better chance to get backstage with him than you would with Skynyrd.
Oh yeah, no, I wrote to him. I said, "Hey man, I've watched your podcast. You're playing here in Akron. I'd like to get together with you and just bullshit for a little bit, But
yeah, if any way you could get a message to him who you were, I think he'd do it because I mean, I'm sure
we seem to have a lot of common. He's a lot younger than me, but we seem to have a lot in common. He was a pretty heavy drug abuser.
He's a crazy sumbitch, man. You guys got to check him out. Theo Vaughn, right, Craig?
Yeah, Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, okay. Let's move right along. K Goof 819. If Artie was shot wouldn't that be documented in the doctor's report at the hospital? Well, what do you think, Craig?
I don't know. You know, don't have any idea on that one. You know, I really don't.
Well, I mean, there's some people said that Artie takes his shirt off, and if you argue with him, and he'll show you the bullet wound. But now I've had arthroscopic surgery on both of my shoulders, and I've got little bullet-looking bullet holes on all over the place on my shoulders where they put screws in there to hold it together. Oh.
I had a couple of puncture marks on my arm from sticks going in my arm that could have been mistaken for buckshot wounds.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
There's all kinds of things. Bullet hole.
There were definitely sticks sticking in you. I had a couple of sticks stuck in me. Not serious, but yeah, I had some wounds from sticks sticking in me.
Yeah, so you have to ask Artie that if you ever see him. But I wouldn't if I were you. And Michelle, I think that's a new name. There's quite a few new subscribers on here, so we appreciate you commenting and joining in on the fun here. She says, Craig, maybe you need a secretary.
Yeah, right.
I have to agree with that. Craig definitely needs.
I could use help. Yeah, that's not this stuff I've been stuck with doing. It isn't really my most favorite stuff to do, but I'll get it done, eventually.
Yeah, everybody's been
my main objective is to make sure all the money that gets sent out gets sent to me, gets sent to the people that it's supposed to go to. That's my main concern, And I think there was one comment on there that said, you don't have any problem going and collecting that money.
You did? I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. You don't have any problem going and collecting that money, do you? But you have a problem sending stuff out,
Was that on Facebook?
No, that was on the comments, yeah.
I didn't see that.
But, yeah.
I'd have chewed their ass if I'd have seen that.
Oh, there's always going to be somebody trying to accuse me of stealing the money. I had one guy.
Well,
there's been so many people associated with Lynyrd Skynyrd and benefits that have stole the money. It's just kind of like it's what everybody does. They just expect me to do it too. So
yeah, just about every event or anything they've ever done.
The monies came up missing.
Yeah, the money. So I can see why somebody would be confused with that.
Yeah, anything that's ever been done as a benefit for Lynyrd Skynyrd, the money's always come up missing. So I can see.
Well, we're pretty transparent. We had, if you want to go on there, Leslie Hawkins, Gene Odom, all of them. They at one time or another, they like even at the monument have held the check up and that we give them, which we give them periodically. We give them checks from the donators, the gracious people that watch the podcast, and the ones that donate don't complain because
we always what do you call it? Recognize the people that send in money and put in a sheet, and I go by those sheets, and whoever sends it in, I go by those sheets of who sent it in and who it goes to. So yeah, it all gets divided. Where it's supposed to go, and that's my main concern. I'll send all this other stuff out. I realize I'm delinquent in my duties, but
and Michelle,
but I've always got something else I got to do. Like I just got that drone, and I got to learn how to fly that before I do anything.
Yeah,
else.
and
I'm
Michelle,
getting good at it though.
I'm kind of Craig's secretary, so I'm the one who keeps telling him, Craig, like the last thing I told him was, Craig, just send one prize winner their thing once a week, and just send them out as you got them. If you do that, then at least they'll be like seeing some movement.
Yeah.
But
it's easy to tell people how to lose weight too, but they don't do it. So I don't know if you've seen that thing with RFK did about when he accepted.
Yeah. He was
Yeah,
talking about fat obesity.
oh, he was talking all about obese people and how 80% of you people out there are obese, and how it, you don't think it's no big deal if you want to be obese. That should be up to you. But he said he said we spend 4 times as much to try to help people healthy from being obese as we do in our military budget. It's either double or 4 times as much we spend on obese people as we do in our military budget, and it costs me, for being skinny or normal. I have to pay for all you fat people out there that have to go to the doctor all the time. But reverse it. What if I had to go to the doctor all the time, and all us thin people had to go to the doctor all the time because we're thin, and you fat people had to pay for it? You wouldn't like it, would you? Well, there's a hell of a lot less thin people out here that yeah, we really don't like it. 80% of these people, we're paying for 80% of you people to be fat just because you want to eat everything you see. That's not fair. That RFK said, obese people 100 years ago, they used to put them in a circus. They were freaks, and obesity or and diabetes. That didn't hardly ever exist. You never saw it. Now 1 out of 3 people have diabetes, and young kids, just about all of them have it. And it's from eating processed food and imitation food. It's all garbage. But you people don't care about yourself. You don't care anything about yourself. You won't drive a car unless it's washed, but you'll get your big old fat ass in there and drive it. Don't give a shit what you look like as long as your damn car's nice and shiny and your house is clean and your lawn's mowed, and you know. You
which
care more about your property than you do yourself, so.
which brings me to this comment, and this is a new listener here. K Guth, Guth 819. You like this guy, Craig, because he's on the same page as you. He says, and when I read this, I said, this sounds like frickin' Craig right here. Usually obese women will get doodles and piercings and Kool-Aid colored hair to divert their attention from their obeseness.
Well, you forgot the tattoos. They all
That's
have
doodles.
tattoos.
That's what he said.
Oh,
Doodles.
okay.
Women
Toodles.
will get doodles.
Oh.
This guy here's hilarious, man. We might have to get him
Yeah,
on.
they all have body art.
Yeah, so
Oh, here's one too from Javier Medina. He said, you ought to ask this question. He said, doom spending. It's about these millennials and Gen Z, those whom believe that there will be no tomorrow for them. And in order to cope with their anxiety, they simply spend carelessly. They just don't care.
well, check this out, Craig. Now, this is why you're so obsessed, because this is your own chart right here of, let me see if I can move out of the way of this so you can see it. This is a fat people chart of the United States. Now, you can't really see Florida too well, but if you look at the scale, the 30% is where we are in Florida. But up there where you're at, Craig, good Lord, man, you guys are fat up there.
Oh, God, yeah. I told you.
Yeah, what's going on? Look at Oklahoma. Goodness gracious. And Louisiana and Mississippi and Tennessee. And I mean, Ohio, you guys are getting into the freaking into the damn buffet like a backhoe. You had that chart too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So take a look at that state right there, and then you can figure out if you're, in the fat state. So, but yeah, that's why Craig's so because everywhere he goes, he sees fat people and he can't get away from it.
I do. Everywhere I go, that's all I see is fat people.
Like that time that you had your dogs in the car and you went into the store and it wasn't even hot outside, and some fat lady with tattoos and everything was like, "You need to get those dogs out of that car." and you called her,
She
what?
said, I was gonna bust your windows out. I'm gonna call the police. You're about to kill those dogs. I said, yeah. Said the air conditioner's on, you stupid fat whore. You did not just call me fat.
She didn't care about the whore part.
No, she
though,
didn't care about stupid or being a whore. She said, well, you did not call me fat. Yeah. Yeah, well.
Well, she was definitely probably a liberal. So, okay, moving right along. S.J. Goody. Hey, Craig, did you see where Johnny Van Zant said the band had no idea you tried to get backstage to get in touch with them first next time? Well, you didn't see the podcast where we aired that. Actually, we got demonetized because I put that on the podcast. Probably about what, Craig? 210 or 211, 213, something like that.
This is what this is 215. It'd been, oh God, I don't know, 212. I don't know, something down there.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry about that. I left my screen all messed up there. So Craig didn't help me out with that. He didn't go, "Hey Griff, you're not on the screen." He just let it go.
Yeah, heck.
And then the same guy says tickets for 1977 Lynyrd Skynyrd show were $6. You believe that?
Yeah.
$6?
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of
Yeah, I
crazy.
believe that. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on where you're at, huh?
I guess that's where Ticketron got involved. I guess Ticketron makes a bunch off those tickets now. I don't know how that works, but yeah, that's the business automotive is in now. The ticket thing.
Yeah.
That's how we
Well,
got that comedian we got coming on Wednesday. That was automotive's first client. He's he sells tickets to his comedy show. Yeah.
well, I know that all these entertainers hate Ticketmaster because they get such a big percentage, I think, and I think they suck.
Yeah, I saw that on the Theo Vaughn show. He had Kid Rock on,
Yeah,
and
Kid Rock said it sucked.
yeah, he went Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which takes me to Kimmy, because I was talking about my cable always screwing up, and Kimmy goes, "Yeah, Griff, I have Spectrum too." And Spectrum is the name of my cable company, which I have a saying, Spectrum puts it up your rectum because they suck and they charge you a bunch of money and their cable's always going out. But this is for entertainment purposes only. So, yeah, you're right, Kimmy. Kimmy, how the heck do you get Spectrum? I thought that was just like a Florida thing.
I have Spectrum.
Oh, you have Spectrum?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well,
I
what
had
about yours?
AT&T forever and ever and ever, and I kept getting these Spectrum things, so I called them and asked them how much I would need to change my service, and my service went from like $150 on AT&T to 79 on Spectrum.
You haven't had any trouble with the Spectrum?
Uh-uh.
Well, I guess I live in the city, and they're not too attentive to people that are in big in populated areas. Because I had AT&T, and I had AT&T for 5 years, and I never once had to talk to them about anything. Their equipment was always working. My cable never went out, not one time. But I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of the Spectrum. Tim Fawcett said,
Where I live here in Ohio, man, the electricity can be out all over the state of Ohio. But where I live here in Summit County, it goes off for maybe an hour, hour and a half,
you
2
know
hours.
why? Because you live near the airport. You're probably on the same grid, and they keep important places up like that. So you're so close to the airport. That's probably why you got.
Yeah, whenever I sign on to my drone, it tells me, you're near an airport. You can't go up real high.
Yeah, I need to start working on that drone, but I have stuff to mail out. I haven't had time to work on my drone
Oh
yet.
yeah, and we gotta tell the Griff's water pipe is up for auction on
Oh yeah.
Survivor underscore films. It's called I named it an H2O smoke pipe. That's how it's registered on uh, Survivor underscore films. It's listed as a H2O smoke pipe. So it's been up since Thursday, and I think it's at like 75 or $80 already, and it's got till next. It closes next Sunday, this coming Sunday, next Sunday. It closes next Sunday at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's going to give me a little gas money to get out to Oklahoma for the one more from the road Steve Gaines event that I'm going to go up there and videotape. So yeah, you guys go on there, man. And I got this cross right here, which I took it to a jeweler. I had this Hell House Dockwood, and I took it to a jeweler, and he made this fancy little chain around it with a little cap up top. But this is Hell House Dockwood, and I could probably be talked out of this thing. And I got a few of these little Dockwood. This is a little vial. It's got some Dockwood in it. I got like one or two of these left, and but I can always get more. But if you guys are interested in that, send me an email, and I'll put the email up there for you to contact me, and we can talk about it. Yeah. So anyway, back to the comments here, Craig. Let me see. I kind of got lost. Oh, Tim Fawcett says, if every fan that went to see the current band would donate $1 to the survivors, that would add up pretty fast. Not too much to ask for one person. That's a pretty good. Think about
Well,
that,
we
Craig.
said that one time. We got 2,000 subscribers. If everybody'd send in $5, that's 10 grand, I think, ain't it?
Yeah, and all
Yeah,
Skynyrd would have to do,
$5 ain't shit.
all
So
all they
there
would
you
have to do, Craig, is do like Lowe's. When I go into Lowe's, they say, "Would you like to round up?" Like I'm going to round up. But if Skynyrd rounded up all their tickets, and then they had their that round up, just it could be 75 cents, it could be a quarter, but yeah, but that has nothing to do with us. We help out, and we feel good about what we do. So what they do is what they do. What we do is what we do, and we don't really care what they do. So we're trying to make a difference. Let me see here. Oh, Kimmy says, Craig, I'm a procrastinator too.
Well, I'm retired. I've been retired since 2006. It's kind of hard for me to get motivated to do stuff like that. But I'll
And
do it.
and then she says, I thought about Timmy yesterday. I'm not like Timmy though. I love that cross, Griff. Yeah. Oh, Timmy. I wonder how he's doing. One day it'd be nice to have Timmy back on with him all sober.
It's hard to tell where Tim is. He might be in jail somewhere.
Yeah, we could have him on and say, "Hey, Timmy, do you remember this?" And he's got a suit and tie on, and he's been saved, and he's going to church, and he could go, "That was really me."
Yeah, I gave him shoes and socks.
Did you ever get his last name?
No, Yeah, I gave him money, shoes. He wore the same. I had a pair of shoes that fit him. I didn't have any clothes that fit
He was a big dude, man.
He was a 4X. Yeah, I didn't have nothing to fit him.
That guy was huge. I mean, and he was a gentle giant, but he could have pinned you down on the floor and had his way with you, man. That guy.
Man.
I mean, you had him in the house, and he was pretty cool.
I was prepared for any monkey business he had to bring forth. Trust me.
Yeah, you got that big old O.J. Simpson knife in there, huh?
I got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you could bust a cap in his ass if you had to, I'm sure.
Oh, I wouldn't want to shoot him.
You could have filled him full of 38 holes.
I could damn sure hurt him, though. I wouldn't want to shoot him.
Well, he was so drunk, I don't know. But his knuckles and fingers were all beat up where
he was just in a fight. Yeah, he was just in a fight. He was a cool guy, though. I'm pretty good at telling people's
Well, you've been around a lot of fighting rednecks and stuff like that, so you kind of got a feel for it. So
yeah, I can tell. He wasn't crazy. He wasn't mentally ill. He was just fat.
Well, everybody that's fat's mentally ill, aren't they, Craig?
Well, that's a type of mental illness. There's a lot of different types of mental illness. Yeah, obesity or being fat is definitely a certain, you have issues. If you can't control what you do, you have a problem with mental illness.
He wanted biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Did you take him to get biscuits and gravy?
I dropped it. Yeah, I was gonna take him down to the Awful House, and when he seen the Awful House, he go or House of Pancakes. I forget which one it was. He went across the street was a truck stop. He goes, "Oh, that's where I'd rather go." He said, "Well, I'll go in there and I can get a ride down south with some trucker." I said, "Cool." So I gave him money and dropped him off at the truck stop.
Yeah, the a lot of the Waffle Houses, it's almost like you have to be a meth head to work there, because it's like everyone I've ever gone to. It didn't used to be that way, but there's a bunch of them in there, man. I'm telling you, they're falling asleep in there and everything. And you and I went to a Waffle House when you came down and we did that folk theater thing, and that's when I had my girlfriend at the time. And we rode in the car with you, and you took a wrong turn and jumped over a few curves, and I don't know if you remember that. Some of those parking bumpers scared the hell out of my girlfriend, but she thought it was funny. Hey, your microphone, Craig. Let me see who else we got here. Cheryl Smith says, "Griff, I live in Muscle Shoals. Come on down. Let's take the studio tours." Well, I was there, Cheryl. I did a Muscle Shoals on the road with Griff Martin, and I went to all of the studios, and I didn't go into all of them, but I went into that one where all the I went over the one over there by the river. And then I went into the one there where Cher and Sonny and Cher recorded, and the Rolling Stones recorded, and Bob Seger. And yeah, I took the tour in there. It was pretty cool. But yeah, heck, maybe I'll come again, man. So I appreciate the invitation there, Cheryl Smith. Donald Johnson says, "Charlie One Horse is still around, and Richard Petty is still getting hats from them."
Oh, really?
Because Charlie One Horse isn't a guy; it's just a company.
Well, they don't sell the Ronnie hat anymore, do they?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If you know that, they're
not getting those Ronnie hats from Charlie. They're getting them from Texas Hatters.
Yeah.
We
I
went
don't
back
know.
and forth. I'm telling you, we went. Oh, I've got them off of both of them, but we were getting them off of Charlie, and then we started getting them off of Texas Hatters. And I don't remember the exact sequence and why, but that's the way it went down. We were getting them off of Charlie One Horse, and then we started getting them off of Texas Hatters. I don't remember what happened, but that's why.
Did it take a long time to get one when you ordered it?
No,
No.
no, a month maybe.
Well, that one that Sally Arnold has. Do you think that came from Charlie One Horse or?
That was an early one, so yeah, I would think that's a Charlie One Horse hat. I would
Yeah,
think.
I mean, she's got a freaking Ronnie
I
Van
think that was
Zant hat. That's
that was
like,
from 74, 75. So that would have been a Charlie One Horse hat. I think, pretty sure.
I mean, you don't get any cooler than having a hat that Ronnie handed you and said, "Here, take my hat."
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I'll testify that one. She's got the real one. Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty badass right there.
yeah. She
Um,
gave it to he gave it to her brother. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that picture of her with that in here somewhere. Yeah, there she is with Ronnie's hat on. Which I might have a better picture of that. I don't know here. There we go. Yeah, there she is, Sally Arnold with Ronnie's hat. And those who don't know Sally Arnold, she she was on the podcast, and she's got a book out, The Rock and Roll Nanny, which is a pretty good book. Looks like that right there. Let me see here. Yeah, right there. Which we're going to try to get her back on again. We'll see if she'll come back on. She was a great guest, probably one of the best guests we ever had. She's got like some really great stories of not just Lynyrd Skynyrd, but the Who and the Rolling Stones, and she knew them all. Of course, Eric Clapton wrote that song "Lay Down Sally" about her, which is pretty daggone cool. And she sent me and Craig an autographed book, and we appreciate it.
You
Let me
see where
see.
Mike Estes has had to kind of postpone their tour or something?
Yeah, somebody said he was sick.
He's got a pinched nerve in his neck or something. And
You
he
know
can
that playing
play,
guitar will do that. Just what happened to Randall Hall. You
he can
know,
play for a little bit, but after about an hour, I guess it starts really bothering his neck. He's got a pinched nerve in his neck, yeah. Them damn Les Pauls will do that, man.
yeah, you get you a Strat, man. Those Les Pauls are too heavy. Those SGs aren't light either.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think I think Randall played a Strat most of his career though, and
yeah, looked like he had a custom Strat. He had one that was almost looked like a carbon fiber or something. I don't know. It was kind of crazy looking.
Randall started playing when he was very young, so he started
Yeah.
hanging guitars on his shoulder when he was young. Yeah.
I remember I talked to him on the phone when I first met him, and I mean I was like unbelievable that I mean the guy was a really phenomenal guitar player, and he said, yeah, he says I'm having trouble playing now because my neck, I have a pinched neck, and it's causing problem with my arm. And I was like, damn, that sucks, that when that's your bread and butter, and it's pretty hard, to try to play a guitar with a pinched nerve in your neck or do
Yeah.
anything for that
Does it
for that
help when
fact.
if they sit down? I don't know. They wouldn't have it on
Well, we need to ask Brian Gibbons that question.
there.
Talk about a pinched nerve. That guy went through hell.
Oh man.
And then Cheesehead said, Craig, I would tend to keep the greatest female in rock history out of the fat conversations.
Well, she weighs about 350. I don't know.
we're not going to say
I saw
who
her
it
on an
is.
interview. She was about 350. It looked like to me. So
Well, she is a pretty damn good singer, though. And if you don't know who we're talking about, we ain't going to mention it because Cheesehead's right. I think that we need to not talk about that.
of
That's
course, Stevie Nicks got a little chunky too. All them women got chunky, man. I mean, all of them. All women got chunky for some reason.
well, so did Oprah.
It's like Kennedy. It's like Kennedy said, man. He said everybody's got fat. It's because of what they eat. They just eat.
Well, when you got so much money that people will bring you a big lobster plate or whatever, and all you got to do is snap your fingers, you might get fat too. I don't know. It's like, they've got everything at their beckoning call. All they got to do is say, Charles, please bring me some more wine, or Charles, I would like to have some lobster this evening with steak. It's, I mean,
I
a
don't
lot of
think
people,
lobster is that fattening, is it? Maybe.
well, if you put
maybe
butter on it.
maybe the butter, but I don't know. I eat butter. I eat a lot of butter.
I eat a lot of butter.
That's the only.
They say
that's
it's
the
good
only-
for you.
That's the only fat I get is in butter, basically.
Yeah, and that whole thing about don't eat butter, it's bad for you. They've come to the conclusion that's bullshit.
Oh, and I saw something today, man. I just shook my damn head. Shake your head. What's that commercial initials for that? Shake my SMA. Shake my head. I went, shake my head. Yeah, I've been drinking. I've been listening for a long time. And so as soon as you get up in the morning, drink you a big old glass of ice cold water, and that kind of restarts your system and does all this and that for your system and rejuvenates your system. Drink a big glass of ice cold water first thing in the morning. Well, then today it sounds like the same voice, the same guy that was telling you to drink ice cold water first thing in the morning. Now he's telling you to drink hot water the first thing in the morning, and it does the same thing that the ice water did. I just said,
Is that the same guy that talked you into drinking the olive oil?
a lot of people started talking me into drinking the olive oil. I'm glad I didn't start drinking the castor oil.
Oh, it's the same thing.
No, castor oil is like a laxative. Olive oil is not supposed
Well,
to be like
isn't that
laxative,
why? Isn't that why?
it kind of worked like it on me, though.
The olive oil did the same thing to you, though.
Yeah, I drink a lot. I've been drinking it first thing I get up in the morning. I drink a tablespoonful of olive oil. Yeah,
Just a tablespoon shouldn't hurt you.
you'd be surprised, man. A tablespoonful can really. A lot of people can't handle a table. First thing in the morning on an empty stomach. They say between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. Of course, I'm an extremist. I'm going to go to the ultimate limit, so I do the tablespoon. But yeah, it'll irritate your stomach a little bit. A lot of people can't do a tablespoonful first thing in the morning on.
But you got to get that good olive oil too. You can't go down and get
yeah.
that highly refined. You got to get that
Yeah,
that extra virgin
Mm-hmm.
that came out of that certain region that
Yeah,
over there in Italy.
yeah.
And talking about Brian Gibbons, the new Van Zant song is called Jesus Christ, and it's pretty good. I haven't heard it yet. I'll have to check that out, Brian. But yeah, Donnie and Johnny have a new song out, and Brian says it's a pretty good one. So go listen to Donnie and Johnny's new song, Jesus Christ. I'll have to check that out.
You'd look better if you sat in between them girls instead of on the side.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see. Fix that.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate that, man. Let me see.
Your guitar's going through Sally's body.
Is it?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, there it goes.
I'm getting all out of whack here. Oh, good.
You don't have a real green screen. You're just using the.
No, I'm using the virtual software that they give me. Okay, let me see here where I was at. Oh, uh, Jeff asked, is the guy that Craig sold Alan's car to and the Steve Gaines Strat someone that lives local near you?
He was from Texas, and he was not in very good physical condition. And I don't know, about 6 months or so back, I saw where he bought a bunch of my stuff and had it on display. And I think maybe he might have passed away, and whoever got that collection was showing it because
Oh, you did? You saw it? You saw it
he
on
had a
display?
lot of my stuff. Yeah, but what he did with the car or the guitar, I don't know.
What all did you sell
I-
him? Can you talk about what you sold him?
He got that. He also got the shirt. I had that shirt, Steve Gaines's what do you call that? The striped shirt. Had the stripes in it, a Madras type shirt that Steve wore a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I had that shirt, and I gave him that shirt. And I had one of Ronnie's hats, and not a real one. It was in memory of hat, and I gave him one of those. And what else I give? He got a. I think he got my red jacket. I think he got a bunch of stuff.
Oh, that red jacket that we were just
I think
talking
he's
about.
the one
You
that got that
one?
red jacket. Yeah.
No, because the guy that got it sent us an email and said
Well, he got one. He got some of my tour stuff, jackets.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because the
Yeah.
guy that got that jacket, matter of fact, I got a picture of it, but I'm not going to mess around with it anymore because my back screen is
I
starting to
don't
get.
remember exactly what, but I gave him a few other things after he bought the guitar and the car. I gave him a few other things because he got me a few other things too.
Yeah, he was a pretty rich guy though, huh? I mean, he was
Yeah.
like multi-millionaire, the guy. Which your friend John Neal knew him, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. He kind of. Yeah. We kind of hooked up. That was kind of. It's kind of one of them divine intervention type things. He just came into my life and made it a lot better and disappeared.
Yeah, because you were able to get rid of some stuff and make a little cash too.
Yeah, I was able to pay off everything I ever owed from that guy. Yeah, he set me up pretty good.
Well, Gene
Then he
said
disappeared. Yeah, that was one of them divine intervention things. He was sitting down here to help me out. And
Gene says
it
now
worked.
all you got to do is go out in your yard and get your map out and dig a jar up. Oh, let me see. Jimmy asked, Griff, what's that guitar behind you with all the signatures on it? Yeah, that that guitar right there. That's just an old cheap guitar. When I had my cabin up in North Carolina, I built this cabin up in North Carolina, and I would be up there for like couple months at a time, and I'd get bored, and so I went down to the town square, and they had a little guitar shop there, and I bought this cheapy guitar just so I'd have a guitar to play, and I would leave it at that cabin. And then when I got divorced and I sold that cabin, I brought that guitar home, and then I took it to just about everywhere I've ever been, like on the road with Griff Martin, and everybody that I go talk to, I get most of them to sign it. Like there's Leslie signed it, Gene signed it, Joey Davis signed it. Also got Derek Hess, Barry Lee, A lot of people signed it. So I don't know. I got to fill it up with some more signatures. So let me see. Ronnie, talking about Ronnie's hats. I love the brown one Ronnie wears on Old Gray Whistle Test. It really gave him the outlaw look. Yeah, that's the one too where I think when Alan was playing his guitar, he kept hitting Ronnie in the hat with his guitar. You ever notice that, Craig, on that Old Gray Whistle Test? Alan was like getting real close up to Ronnie, and he was like hitting him in the hat with his guitar. Ronnie didn't say anything.
That was a pretty small stage there they had. It wasn't a very big area they had to move around on.
Yeah, I
pretty close together.
That Old Gray Whistle Test, man, that was some pretty good stuff. You know, they got a lot of cool people on there. David Hester, I've always thought of it this way when it comes to women. There's fat, fine women and skinny, fine women. Some may be slightly heavy, but still attractive. Well, Craig, do you find some attractive women that are fat? Is that okay with you?
Oh, man, I see a lot of women, you could tell they'd be really pretty, but they're just heavy, and I don't find heavy women attractive. Yeah, I go, God, if she would lose 100 pounds, she'd be gorgeous.
100?
Most of the time, yeah. A lot of women don't think they're obese, and they're right. They're not obese. They're morbidly obese, because obese is just 35 pounds overweight. And women today think that they're 35 pounds overweight. They're just chunky. No, they're obese. Most women are at least double obese. That's morbid.
Yeah, but they have a pretty face.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of women that are 70 pounds over what they were in high school or whatever. That's morbidly obese.
Especially when they get that fupa, that whole I'll let you look that up if you don't know what a fupa is.
I mean, there's a lot of women that lose over 100 pounds. That's not uncommon for women.
Well, when you get up there around that much weight, then you get a lot of loose skin, and
oh, you do, yeah.
Which, when you get old, you got all kinds of shit going on. So you just got to be happy and just learn how to turn the light down in the bedroom or something. I don't know. See, Carol the Cake Girl, 500 views and only 70 likes. Come on, people, stop being lazy. Like and subscribe. Yeah. This last one we had quite a few. We were all the way up to 758 views, like on the third day or second day, and then we had quite a few comments. So
that last one we didn't get monetized for that last one.
We didn't?
No, that's why I'm holding this sign up here when I'm doing this. And all I did was hit that coffee cup last time. I don't know.
Well, we could have said something politically, unfavorable to the woke people that run the channel. So you never know.
Yeah, every other one we get cut. I don't know what's up. But yeah, but our subscriptions are staying. God, we've been at 2280, I think we are, something like that. We've been there 2220. We were at 2180. We were at 2160 for a while, and then we went to 2180, and then we went to 2200. And we've been sitting there for a long time, but people say they keep dropping them out. So
yeah, they keep. Imagine, I know somebody who said every time he goes to comment, he has to resubscribe. So if they don't like your comment, they'll they'll unsubscribe you. So check your subscriptions. And if you're new to watching the podcast, then go ahead and subscribe it, because that helps the monetization. The money goes to the forgotten survivors of the Lynyrd Skynyrd plane crash. So it's going to a good cause.
This world's so crooked. You know, way things are set up, they just lie to you. They tell you one thing,
Yeah.
and they just make up the rules as they go along. They just lie. Everybody just lies.
Just a
The
liberals.
whole world is just a big lie.
Yeah. And you know, the earth was flat this whole time, and they were lying to us.
Did you see that one thing I posted today that where the woman was born in 1912? And that's when my mother was born. I wish she was still alive. My dad was born in 1910, but the woman was born in I don't know. Maybe she went to school in 1918 or something.
Wasn't it a black lady?
No, she said when she went to school in 1918, maybe that's the way it was. They were taught in school that the earth was flat. In 1918, they were taught that the earth was flat. Yeah. She said, well, in 1918, when you went to school, what would they tell you? She said the earth was flat.
Well, they had to make up a whole new story so they could start robbing from you, I guess. That's what the whole thing is.
Well, all these buildings, that kind of proof that those buildings were here before they were built. They didn't build those buildings. They found those buildings.
Yeah, they were in the mud
here
flood
for a long time. Something, and the Tartarian thing, and then all them blimps, and they were all hooked to the top of those buildings with the antennas on them, and there's a lot of stuff that was going on.
Well, according to the experts of conspiracy theory, they say that we just live in a certain region on the flat Earth, and it's kind of like the slums of the flat Earth where we live, and all the unknown portions of the flat Earth, or that where all the elites live, is like it's almost like Garden of Eden. You know, it's just beautiful, and you know, but where we live is kind of like the slum area of the flat Earth. So all the globalists, they live in the elite portions of the flat Earth that you can't go see. Below where, Craig? The South Pole?
I guess about below the 60th parallel, yeah. Yeah, there's I think I don't know it to be a fact, but someone I heard say that 96% of anything that ever lived on this portion of the earth, wherever we are, 96% of anything that ever lived here is extinct.
Well, that and those trees used to be huge.
Yeah.
And the stumps where they cut them off, they're actually
mountains. And the giants, all these great big buildings with all these great big doorways. And there's all kind of evidence there's giants, and whatever went on in the Grand Canyon, man, they sure are hiding that. You're not allowed nowhere near that thing.
Yeah.
And they say that they're trying to explore Mars. Hell, they don't even know what's at the South Pole. The other day I saw something. They said the only people that had ever been there were from Norway or something. There was people trying to get there, and they ended up eating their dogs and all kind of stuff trying to get down there. Why don't they just fly down there and land, man? God, they just make up lies. My God, they just lie.
They've got submarines and planes patrolling down there. You're not allowed.
Big question is, is the earth flat or round? Why don't somebody just go down there in an airplane and land it down there and say, here we are at the South Pole? It just seems so simple, but they act like it's That's Mars down there. You can't go down there. It's so violent and it's horrible. Hell, you could fly over it. They've proven if there's places down there that would be closer to fly right over the South Pole to get to some places, but you're not allowed. You're not allowed to fly over the North Pole or the South Pole. And I've been over the North Pole. I've heard the pilot has said twice, we're over the North Pole, but we weren't over the North Pole. You're not allowed to fly over the North Pole.
Yeah, he was lying to you.
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along. John Hartline says, Craig sent me my eBay items and he sent them out right away. Thanks so much, Craig.
Oh, I send out the eBay stuff right away.
Yeah, because you get a feedback grade.
Yeah, you have to send these.
Yeah, so
I close stuff on eBay, closes on Sunday night, and I send it out Tuesday.
So it just goes to show you, Craig only does what he
I do
has to
that.
do.
No, I do what I'm supposed to do, but that's this stuff I do for free. I take my sweet time doing it.
I can vouch for that.
I do. I'm retired. I don't want, I'll get it done one of these days.
Craig, John Morrow wants to know, did Gary's SG guitar survive the plane crash?
It was none of the guitars were on the plane. They were all on trucks.
But there was a Steve Gaines guitar on there.
Well, there might have been. I don't know which one it was. They carried I
believe it was a Strat.
I was drunk and stoned all the time. I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, Joe Crimp told me that.
Every little piece of equipment everybody carried.
Well, it makes sense that Steve Gaines would have a guitar on there because he carried that thing around with him everywhere, didn't he?
That tackle box I got, I suppose, was on the airplane, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Then with that stuff with the warehouse, but I suppose it was on the airplane, but I can't say for sure. Well, it
was with all the stuff that was. But it doesn't matter. It was Ronnie's tackle box.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was on the plane or not. I don't know his tackle box. It was on the plane. I assume it was Ronnie's. He would have been the only one that was fishing. He's the only one that fished on the road.
Well, Gene told me that he had a little tackle box that he kept on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just say I can't, I don't got his name on it. I can't really, say for sure if it was on the plane, and I just suppose it was Ronnie's because it was in with the stuff. And he's the only, I remember him fishing. I remember at a couple of the places where we played that he was out fishing.
Yeah, it was probably.
I think I even remember using that pocket fisherman too.
Now all we got to do is get you to find the tackle box. Maybe you can fly that drone around in your house and see if you can find it. And Ronnie says that would be a great idea to get the plane crash survivors in the front row of a Lynyrd Skynyrd concert and bring them all up on stage. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
No.
Sammy Joe wants to know, did Leon sing vocals with Ronnie on I Need You?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe he listened to it and it sounded like he heard some kind of a backup singer with Ronnie and he thinks that or something. I don't know. Good.
It was Ed's song. It might have been Ed. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was Ed. Yeah.
Ed wrote the music and gave the music to Ronnie, and Ronnie wrote the words, but I don't remember a backup singer on I Need You.
Good question. Or anybody else knows that? Send us a comment there in the comment section. Steve Jones, Dangerous Threads was primarily a leather store and Western wear store. Nice jackets, but very pricey. They had a signed photo of Lynyrd Skynyrd hanging in the store.
That vest I have of Leon's, I'll have to look at it. It might be from Lane Dangerous Threads, but he bought a bunch of boots. Wherever he bought those boots, those black boots with the turquoise in them.
Yeah.
And he bought a few pair of boots that he paid a bunch of money for. But he had a vest that went with those, that was the black boots with the turquoise in it. And then he bought two of those vests. Like I got one of those, and it's got a label on it. I'll have to look in the label.
Yeah, check it out. Maybe it's Dangerous Threads.
I don't think it is, but it might be. But I remember Dangerous Threads I thought it was leather, but I wasn't sure.
Okay, all righty then. Per Patricia Lynn, did Lynyrd Skynyrd ever see Free or Bad Company in concert?
We played with Bad Company in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
No
Pittsburgh's the
shit.
place where they had the thing where the roof opened up in that building in Pittsburgh. The roof could open.
Did Skynyrd open for them, or did they open for Skynyrd? Yeah.
Open.
Can you imagine, Ronnie is like, he was a huge fan of Free and Bad Company, and they, before they even were any good. And then here they go and they end up, playing a venue with them. That's amazing, that your idol, that you get to go play with your idol.
Yeah, because Paul Rogers played with Bad Company there in the beginning, but then he dropped out, and then that other guy started singing with Bad Company.
Was Paul Rogers with him when Skynyrd played with him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The early.
Well, he was at Gary's funeral.
Yeah.
So yeah, Paul Rogers, and they were pretty close. Let me see here. That question is I'll see if I can read this question. Greg, tough question. Do you know when Alan added the part to Freebird where he slides 2 or 3 times on one string? Ronnie must have liked it. It's not on the studio cut.
No.
You know what he's talking about?
No.
Yeah.
No.
He must have like listened to
I
a bunch of
wasn't
different
around
versions.
when they wrote Freebird. I wasn't around. I was there for the second album, but
Were you there when they asked Al Cooper for $5,000 to replace the stuff that got stolen? No?
right after that.
Right after that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's all the comments and questions there, Craig. And it's about time to wrap it up. And thanks for all the comments and questions. Always good to read them and go over them. And then we'll be back Wednesday, and we'll have, hopefully, Mike Bova, the comedian, on from New York, and we'll see what he's up to, and we'll see you Wednesday.
All righty then, and I guess we're out of here, and I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Stoned Roadie show, and I promise if I got to send you people out something here, I'm going to send it out pretty soon. I know I've been saying that for a while, but I don't see nothing in the near future that's going to hold me up from doing that. So on that note, I will, happy trails to you until we meet again, and see you later, alligator and a wild crocodile. And we're going to call that a wrap, and we're out of here. Cut.